ከሶማሌላንድ ጋር ያደረግነው የስምምነት ኢኮኖሚያዊና የደህንነት
Ethiopia's ambassador to Somalia has issued an official apology on his X account over his recent media remarks, which triggered outbursts and dissatisfaction among the people of Somalia. Mukhtar Mohammed Ware issued an apology on Sunday, noting that he never intended to hurt the people of Somalia and the country at large. According to him, his words were misguided and never intended to harm our relationship. The envoy, who is a close ally of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, said he will work hard to foster genuine relationships between the two sisterly nations, which are involved in a deep diplomatic tiff triggered by a recent MOU between Ethiopia and Somaliland. Apologies to my brothers and sisters in the Federal Republic of Somalia. My recent interview with local media fell short, causing dissatisfaction. I sincerely apologize to the government and the people of Somalia. My words were misguided, and I never intended to harm our relationship, he said. Somalia and Ethiopia share a deep bond, and I am committed to working diligently as the ambassador to strengthen ties between our sisterly nations for enhanced cooperation, added Mukhtar Mohammed Ware, while calling for tolerance between the two nations. This unofficial apology comes 3 days after Ethiopia's ambassador to Somalia described Somalia as a failed state and are still under the influence of colonialism. The ambassador, who conveyed these sentiments during an interview with Fano Television, expressed steadfast support for the agreement between Ethiopia and Somaliland. Emphasizing the autonomy of Somaliland, he stated, "Somaliland has the prerogative to engage in agreements with any party of its choosing, and the issue of unity between Somalia and Somaliland remains contentious," as conveyed to Fano TV. Furthermore, the ambassador characterized Somalia as a nation shaped by colonial forces, plagued by international terrorism, where the threat of violence is pervasive and leadership lacks a cohesive vision. During the interview, he asserted that Ethiopia's borders are subject to expansion and alteration at any given moment. Diplomatic sources have disclosed that the federal government of Somalia exerted pressure on the Ethiopian ambassador to Somalia to issue a formal apology. Somalia has called the January 1st agreement, which would allow Ethiopia to establish a naval base at Berbera, an act of aggression, and said it was prepared to defend the country's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Not an inch of Somalia can or will be signed away by anybody, Somalia President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud wrote on X. Following a 4-day assembly, on Thursday, Ethiopia's ruling Prosperity Party, PP, vowed to advance its contentious Memorandum of Understanding with Somaliland into a practical agreement. This commitment, made by the party's executive and central committee members, has sparked significant regional tension, particularly with Somalia. Ethiopia is also likely to need funding if it is to establish a new port, navy, and the other infrastructure that would be required. Analysts said this could come from the United Arab Emirates, which has close relations with both Ethiopia and Somalia. The Gulf country has been expanding its influence in the Horn of Africa, including at Berbera Port, which the Emirati logistics group DP World has been upgrading. It also backed the Ethiopian government during the conflict in the Tigray region and is involved in Sudan's civil war, where it has been accused of backing the paramilitary forces fighting the country's army.